All right. A very warm good morning, Christina. Thank you for joining in today for this interview. Uh, to begin with, I would like to make a formal introduction of yours, and then we can get started with a question answer session. Christina Sparks is the founder and CEO at Soulgani Activewear, based out of Florida, United States. And
Yep.
her brand is a high quality activewear, kind of made in USA, and their fit and unique styles are what sets them apart. And Christina has a ton of experience in building and growing businesses, and she is well versed in product management and development, marketing and branding, account management, and business development. Christina has been part of the Tampa Bay 40 under 40 in 2015, and in 2020, she has also received the Stevie Awards for the top female executive for consumer product. And before that, Christina has also been the SVP of Account Management in her organization Marxent, where she has been doing a lot of amazing work for her company. And she has also been part of Next Tech System, where she was the Chief Product Officer, handling a lot of different things related to product management, product marketing, strategy, and business development. And Christina has a great education. She has got a bachelor's degree in the field of biology and chemistry from the University of Dayton, and she has also done her Master of Science in Technology Management from Columbia University in New York. So, Christina, a lot of things you have done throughout your life, and we are great to have you today on the interview with us. So let's begin. Let me start with this first question, and let me try to make it very different. What is your purpose of business and life?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And it's wonderful to be here as well. Thank you for that awesome intro. So I think the main purpose with business is always trying to find like a problem and then creating a solution for that. And then just letting your passion kind of help drive that solution to completion and to greatness. And then personally for me, my purpose is to like always get better, always create something better in my life for myself and those around me, and people that work for me and work with me. I like to bring them up too and help them become kind of greater versions of themselves as well. So always never getting tired, always kind of striving to improve.
Well, that's a very strong purpose, I must say. And I think that's a great perspective to look at life in terms of when you grow, how many people you can take with you and how they can grow. That's an amazing way of looking at life. And I think if you have that strong purpose, a lot of great things can be achieved. Excellent, Christina. Um, Christina, you have been in the business for quite a long time, and you have this amazing educational background. And I think you have spent enormous amount of time doing product marketing, brand development, managing key accounts, strategy. Uh, what was your learning, or what are some of those one or two key things that you have learned over these years, probably, which typically what we call it as challenges, maybe that you have overcome, maybe because in our life we learn a lot of different things. But what are those key two learnings that you would like to share that has really helped you in your own growth as well as the brand growth?
Yeah, I think the two biggest things is like when you're creating a product or you're creating a brand, there's always like a piece of yourself that you think like, oh, I would like this or I would want this in a product. And I think sometimes when you're designing for a certain market, you need to kind of ask yourself, like, am I that main demographic in my market? Am
Mhm.
I that buyer that would be buying this? And if the answer is no, I think sometimes the biggest challenge you have is to try to kind of like take yourself out of the equation and think most about who you're going to be designing this for, who you're going to be selling this product to, and how you're going to receive it. And so I think the biggest and the best thing anybody can do, that if they're trying to do a technology product or trying to do a like a consumer product where it's like clothing or food or anything, kind of think like get feedback of as many people as you can that would be like a buyer, and understand what they like about the product, what they don't like about the product. Understand like how the brand that you've created thus far, like how it makes them feel, what they think when they see it, and then kind of just make sure that that's always aligning to your mission, and then kind of always kind of tweaking all of that as you go along so that you can kind of keep your existing customers happy, but kind of garner more customers as you grow and kind of go forward. So always keeping the consumer's wants and needs at the forefront and not your own, I think is the biggest challenge and also opportunity that somebody can have when they're in business or creating a business.
Wow, that's a very, very excellent answer, I must say, because so what you suggested is product market fit is like how you understand the consumers and what they are looking for, and then kind of aligning your product with their needs. Wow, excellent. I think this is a great insight for any budding entrepreneur out there who would like to launch a business, want to develop a technology product. And I think, as Christina mentioned, is keeping yourself in the customer's shoes and then making sure that what the customer wants, that's what you should build. Excellent.
You're there to serve the customer. You're not there to serve yourself.
Right.
So you kind of think, who am I designing this for and why, and do it for them, really for yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely. Excellent. So this is a very amazing thing. And Christina, like while building your own company, Soulgani Activewear, what are some of the things you have, like, are you in a growth stage, or are you at a, like, where do you see your brand is currently, and what's your vision for this brand?
Yeah, we're definitely in a growth stage right now where we have quite a few wholesale accounts that purchase the Soulgani product, and we have direct to consumer as well. So stage of wanting to kind of scale all of that. And my like goal for the business is to have us be, one of those top brands when you think activewear all across. That's our goal.
Wow, that's very powerful. So you are trying to, like, so you want to become that D2C brand where people, when they want to buy that, they should have Soulgani as their brand recall. So that's amazing. Right.
Soulgani, they should think of like a high quality brand that also gives charity. Like, why would you not want to wear this?
Absolutely right. Absolutely. This is a great way to look at it, because ultimately in a business that we are, like, D2C is a very, very crowded, or what you can say, a competitive space, and you have to create that niche. You need some time, but I think once you have established your foothold and left an impression in those early customers, I think you can grow to any extent. That's I think this is a great learning that you shared, I think, because when you build a brand, I think quality is paramount. I think people are willing to pay the premium, and if they are getting quality, they'll stick with you forever. And I think that's how you can have tremendous growth in the years to come. Amazing. As a D2C brand, like, there's a competition, and I think you know your way. You have navigated a lot of different challenges. But what do you think there are challenges for you while growing the business? Because you already have established the presence, you already have your early adopters. But what do you think some of the challenges that you are trying to overcome in order to kind of grow your market share, if I may put that way?
Yeah, so I think I think every business is going to have unique challenges when it comes to scaling and growing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for us, I think part of that is as you scale and grow, you want to make sure that you're maintaining that same quality that your early adopters fell in love with. So for us, it's being able to can keep that, but be able to now create like 100 times more that type of product, same level.
Okay.
And so, and I think if you can identify that that could be a potential challenge, then all you really need to do is just put brain power and effort into thinking, how can I solve this challenge ahead? And that's really, you go to scale a business, it's thinking about all of those items and just kind of creating like a roadmap for all of that to make sure you don't fall into big issues. And if you do, then you fix them and you move on.
Nice. That's great. That's amazing. So you anticipate all the problems, you anticipate all the challenges, and you kind of are ready to take on those challenges, and you have a roadmap. And that's how I think that's what.
I mean, you can never anticipate every problem and every challenge, but you can be analytical and try to think about, from every different angle, different areas. And then from there, there'll be challenges that you're faced and you just solve them. That's it. And you just move forward. I think a lot of times in a small business, sometimes you can get like, if there's a challenge, you can feel a little defeated, and it's okay to feel defeated for like 5-10 minutes, but then you have to like put your boots on and say, okay, let me go and fix this.
Yes, that's great. Amazing. Yeah, I think as you said rightly, it's not so easy to anticipate every problem, I think. But yes, still, yeah, I think, but when we have conquered a lot of them in the beginning or during growth stage, you can always find your way. Excellent. Christina, one of the key aspect in D2C is the tremendous amount of disruption that has happened in the online space, right? Like earlier, it used to be all offline, and then we have all these turbulence the world economy is experiencing right now, and online, the digital world has grown 10 times. We are able to do everything online. As a business woman and someone who has spent so much time in the industry, how do you look at this transition of digital adoption? Where do you see the world of online retail will be? Like from your own experience or what you are looking at the trends? Well, what do you think?
I think it's just going to get stronger and stronger. I think online, and luckily for us, our business started as an online business. So we don't have to worry about having a physical footprint in, different locations and stuff. We can kind of service every location through our website and through our retail partners. But I think that online, especially even if you look at traditional retail partners, like your big box retailers, even they more online sales as well.
Yeah.
So I think online is just going to get stronger and stronger. And I think it's a direct reflection of what the consumer wants. The consumer wants convenience. The consumer doesn't necessarily, if they don't have to leave their house, they don't want to. Delivered to you in 24 to 48 hours, like more power to. I think it's going to get stronger and stronger as the years go by.
Nice. And during this entire 2020, where we experienced this pandemic, you must have experienced a lot of challenges, whether it's logistics, inventory. How did you kind of found your way? How did you navigate it through the challenges? I mean, what are some of the key learnings that you have, and which allowed you to kind of keep the pace going of your business? Like
we pivoted. So like during the pandemic, we definitely, luckily before the pandemic, we had a large inventory come in, right? So very lucky in that sense. And then we switched our production to creating masks during the pandemic. So it was out of the goodness of our hearts, we wanted to create masks. But then too, there was also like a market need for it as well, which was really, and then from there during the pandemic, I looked at different manufacturing partners that we could have outside of our existing ones,
Mhm.
that were here in the US, to kind of diversify a little bit more so that we would be in a better state if we ever had another lockdown or something like that. So for us, I think from that sense, there were some challenges and opportunities, but we worked through a lot of that. And then when it came to like our team members, um, I kind of erred on the side of what is the best for them. And even today, we're not all back in the office. We still work remotely 90% of the time.
Mhm.
And we come into the office for fulfillment. We come into the office for, different types of meetings that we have to do.
Mhm.
Like our fulfillment team, they kind of, they are more not working at home.
Yes.
Else is.
Yes.
So you kind of, work through that.
Nice. Wow, that's yeah, I think that is amazing way. I think so you managed your inventory, you managed your team really well, and you kind of make sure that your consumers what they're looking for, they're getting it. Excellent. I think that's most really important. I think because I think no one has ever thought of something like this can happen, but I think thanks to the digital adoption that was and all this uh, payment setup, logistics setup, I think deliveries continue to happen. Yes, there were bottlenecks, there were challenges, but I think thanks to the way the world is right now, that we are living in such an evolved world where we have everything which can be done through your smartphone or your desktop. That's the biggest convenience that consumers have got. And as a D2C brand, I think that's the best. Those are some of the best tools that they have got in order to make sure that they're able to constantly connect with their consumers, because ultimately customer is the king. Uh, uh, in 2021, and I think now that things are kind of becoming what we can say pre-normal, maybe it will the normal, we can't say we'll reach that normal very soon, but whenever that happens, I think so we are going to see a lot of growth, a lot of demand coming in as things start to get back to those conditions pre-COVID or in the pre-pandemic. Uh, what are some of the new things that you are planning to do in order to make sure that whatever revenue you were doing last year or whatever your goals were, you are trying to achieve those goals or kind of make sure that you are able to go beyond those revenue goals. So anything that you're planning to do different this year or the next year in order to take your business to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, regardless of a pandemic, we're always trying to do that. Every year we grow and get better.
Hmm.
Kind of that's the main purpose, right?
Yeah.
Um, so for us, it's really just kind of like looking at what are the areas that we've had the most success in. Like what's, for instance, we're an activewear company. So what styles have we had that have been best sellers for us? And
Hmm.
then create products that are similar and like around those styles. What new demographics can we be tapping into that we haven't yet? What
Yeah.
products they be wanting? So kind of just diversifying our main demographic who we advertise to,
Hmm.
and then kind of looking at the best styles and then just kind of doubling down on that as we go forward.
Great. Amazing. uh, in terms of consumer engagement, you definitely must be doing a lot of organic marketing and organic marketing, like, and within the inorganic marketing, like, what are some of the channels that has worked really well for you? And like, how do you look at digital marketing as a D2C brand? Like, which channel do you use the most? And what are some of the things that you do on a regular basis in order to kind of connect with your target audience?
Yeah, so I would say what has been working really well for us has actually been social media marketing.
Hmm.
Um, it's kind of an addiction. I feel like a lot of people, first thing in the morning, they look at their Instagram or they look at their Facebook or other LinkedIn or like other kind of social media channels. So for us, because we're an activewear brand, we've been creating a lot of content around like a healthy lifestyle, around healthy living, around our activewear. And so Instagram has been a great way for lead generation for us. It's been a great way for like brand and social proof when you talk to somebody and you like direct them towards your Instagram. It's interesting because like 10 years ago, people would be like, oh yeah, go check out my website. And
Yeah.
now people are saying like, oh, go check out our Instagram and our website. So it's really interesting to kind of that shift a little bit.
Yes.
And I think it's more common in a direct to consumer brand. But I'd say definitely Instagram and like the social media marketing has been great.
Excellent. So you're using social media marketing really well. And as you
Yeah,
said it rightly, Instagram as a channel definitely is a great uh, kind of tool basically to narrate your brand story. I mean, in so many different ways, and it's the most amazing visual tool which has the best engagement ever. So yeah.
yeah,
Right. And as a brand marketer, as someone who kind of owns the brand, like where do you see like are you getting enough ROI on your digital marketing spend, or what are some of the new channels you planning to kind of utilize, or kind of you want to use that which you haven't used so far? Like anything in mind that you would like to
yeah.
share?
We actually are doing more organic than paid advertising
Mm-hmm.
on social media right now. Um, I think when it comes to like the paid advertising on social media, I think sometimes it's hard to find an ROI if you don't give it like a 6 month kind of
Yeah.
like time. Um, so for us, I found that we've have a good ROI when it comes to creating like reels or organic content that just people like actually like value and like utilize. And then from there, they like that content and they give your product a try.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a lot of customers that where we can see they originate from Instagram, but we
Mm-hmm.
weren't running at the time and they were coming from our organic content. And
Mm-hmm.
it's because content is creating actual value for them. It's something that they can like utilize in their day as opposed to just like a picture of somebody in leggings and saying you look cute and wearing them. We like tie other things to that content. So in that sense, we have a great ROI because it's not paid advertising. It's just using our organic content to generate value and then sales from there.
Right. That's excellent. So your organic growth is working really well for you, as you said it rightly, and I think
Yeah.
it's a great way to kind of I think you understand the data points really well, and then you're leveraging on those data points in order to make sure that you are constantly interacting with your audience. Great. Uh, Christina, while 2020 has been challenging, 2020, 21, 22, 23, we are going to see a lot of new things coming in, like, and the competition has continued to kind of grow, especially in the verticals that every retail business is operating in. And so, how do you think, like, where do you want to kind of pay special attention to in order to make sure that you are kind of distinguish yourself from the competition? Because definitely that's one of the key parameters. For example, from your Instagram post, someone lands on the site, but till that checkout page, there's a journey that the customer has to go through. What if the customer drops on the landing page, or what if the customer drops on the collection page? How do you make sure that you don't lose out on that customer? Maybe that customer uh, looks for value on some other merchant's website. So what are some of the things that you plan to do on your e-commerce store that make sure that you are able to kind of grab the attention of the consumer? And because I think that journey that the customer has to go from product page to checkout is a long journey, and most customers abandon that journey, and that's where you lose out on that customer acquisition opportunity. So how do you plan to solve this problem?
So we have, I don't think you can ever fully solve the problem because the consumer is ultimately going to go where they want to go. But
Yes.
what you do is you try to like show them the most value when they're at your page, but then also follow up with them because
Mm-hmm.
like sales is all persistence and follow up. Like the most
Yes.
persistent person with the most follow up is definitely going to most likely win that sale, right?
Right.
Just in regular everyday life. And
Yes.
so for us, we have different heat maps that are on our website where we can
Mm-hmm.
see where people are spending more time, spending less time when they're on a product page, when they go to like abandoned cart, when they go to checkout, and kind of see like what's going on. So we're always looking at improving and simplifying that checkout process for us.
Mm-hmm.
Added Afterpay and Klarna and like all those other Shop Pay and all those other kind of avenues to kind of help make the checkout process easier in
Mm-hmm.
regards to which they have to pay up front because ours is high-end activewear line, so it's not inexpensive, but you get a lot for what you're buying. So in that sense, we've kind of looked at the whole process and seen how can we make it easier for them up front.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, always tweaking the website to kind of make it um, kind of more streamlined. And then the third thing is we have email and texting follow up to kind of say like, hey, looks like you left this in your cart. Just kind of I think what a lot of companies do, where you just
Mm-hmm.
kind of, but not to the point where you're being annoying, but to the point
Mm-hmm.
where you're being informative. Because
Yeah.
if I sent you 5 emails after you were on our website,
Yes.
like you would be right? But if I sent you a couple saying, hey, I think you left this, hey, there's only a few left in this size, you may want to grab it now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's showing value and showing follow up. Because sometimes I think people just, they abandon a cart. I know I have. I abandon a cart because I'm too lazy and I don't want to walk and go get my credit card and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
don't have pay and I'll like go do it later. So
Mm-hmm.
I different
Yeah.
customers too. So we try to make sure there's as many options on the site and follow up
Mm.
with sure that we can save the sale.
Nice, nice, nice. Absolutely. So you're constantly making sure that you are adding value for your consumer, not just when they land, but even after that. I think that's a great way. I think all the brands that we see, whether it's Everlane, Nike, or wherever, Patagonia, I think they believe consumers are the ones who are driving the show. I think the more brand owners like you, I think you're top of the game. I think you know what your consumers love, and you're constantly tweaking all those things and making sure that at every stage they are getting that value addition. And I think that's the best way, I think, in order to grow, because acquiring those first early adopters, acquiring those first 1,000 customers, it's a journey itself. And once you have acquired them, the growth happens. And I think it's all about making sure that you are making those data driven decisions. And I think as all these pointers that you mentioned are really very, very important for any merchant to who is doing a lot of different things. These are extremely important points to learn where people are dropping off on your website, and that way they can kind of fix that, right? uh, Christina, so I think we have five more minutes. So the keeping in mind the paucity of time, so let me try to have one or two more questions for you around basically your vision. You have a very long-term vision, and as a brand which is growing, uh, you're doing a lot of different things. So how do you plan to utilize like the technologies, or what are some of the tools that you use on a regular basis in order to make sure that you are able to engage with your target audience? Like definitely you're doing a lot of digital marketing, email
Mhm.
marketing, SMS marketing. What are some of the tools that you use, and why?
Yeah. So that's a great question. So if I go like very down to like the basics, um, and I think if somebody's listening to this and they want to start their own direct to consumer brand, I think Shopify is one of the best tools that you can use. We researched a lot of different tools, and Shopify is the best for your store And or if you want to do point of sale, if you want to be able to have like online presence, if you want to be able to have all these other tools integrate with your site and the back door, Shopify, I think, is number one. From there, for email marketing, we've two different email marketing tools, and I think truly the best is Klaviyo emails, because you can create so many different kind of funnels. You can create so many different maps and segments where you can really get very targeted in how you email your customers. So you're not that brand that just sends out the same email to everybody. You're that brand that sends out an email that's targeted that will actually provide value to that customer. Me, I get so annoyed when I get just like an email blast every day from a brand that's just kind of blanketed. But if I were to get an email blast that targeted what I like and what I've seen, like I'm like, oh, that's actually good. I might click here and buy. Email, Klaviyo. And then for creating digital marketing assets, it's always great to have a graphic designer in your back pocket, but I think Canva is really wonderful. You can create so many great assets that look incredibly professional. A lot of free using Canva. So I think Canva is a great tool as well. And then for managing, you know, on the other side where you're maybe selling to retailers and whatnot, for wholesale business, I think having a mixture of like HubSpot for managing like your CRM, but then also we use Google Sheets and like the whole Google suite, being able to like collaborate remotely. So, I mean, these are all tools that I think are very well known, but I think these are excellent tools for anybody starting a business.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. And while we are coming to an end, the last question for you is around, what is that one piece of advice that you would like to give to someone? Let's say someone in your family wants to start a business, someone you know who comes to you for advice. What will you tell them? What is that one piece of advice that you will give them? Because running a business is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So what would you share with them?
So I would share with them that first and foremost, when you go to start your business or create your product, make sure that there is a need in your market and you are fulfilling that need, and basically there's a problem and you're solving a solution or creating a solution, because anybody can create something that's like a good product, but if you don't have a need in your market, your product won't sell. Right. And you can create a lot of marketing to make people feel that they have that need, but if there's not a need, then you could have the greatest product, but nobody to buy it. So you have to have that kind of balance. And the second thing is that there will be times where it's like, wow, this is the best thing ever. I'm so glad I did this. And there'll be times where you'll be like, why did I do this? You know, and there'll be times where you'll feel defeated. There'll be times where you feel like you're on top of the world. And that's just kind of like, you know, the wave, the up and down of it. And so, you know, you need your passion, I think, in the beginning to kind of ride that wave of up and down. And then I think you need to remember when you're down, why you started, and to keep going. And to just kind of always get better every day, every month, every year is the goal.
Wow, excellent. I must say this is an excellent answer, Christina. And thank you so much for sharing these words of wisdom and like from your experiences and learning. This is really valuable for someone who is going to get a chance to kind of launch a business. And I think what you've shared are really, really important key insights from your own learnings. And thank you so much once again for sharing that. And we would love to learn more from you, and maybe in the subsequent interviews, maybe on a different topic down the road, and where we can touch upon some different topic altogether. So thank you so much for joining in today for this interview, and we wish you all the very best for your business growth. And we would love to learn what are the challenges that you face, and more basically I think in 40 minutes, we try to cover a lot of different questions, but we would love to know more about brand building, maybe, which is itself a very, very deep topic that we can cover next time. So with this, thank you so much once again for joining in today for this interview. And we would love to connect with you soon. Thank you. Have a great day ahead. Talk to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.